Here we go.
She's now an advocate against domestic violence, hoping to create a home for victims here in Pensacola.
And when I turned back around, a shotgun was facing me and he shot me.
Williams was shot in the stomach, killing her unborn baby she had named Jamie.
She saved my life. You're not alone. You're not alone. And if I came out, you can come out.
Welcome to a new show called No More Violence, and with Mrs. Carolyn Williams. Carolyn, good evening.
Good evening, Vernon, and there's no more silence.
And I said no more violence, didn't I?
You said no more violence. Well, okay, violence is silence.
That's true. And how are you
All
doing
right.
tonight?
I am doing well. How about yourself?
I am well. I am well. This is certainly a very important topic that needs to be talked about, Carolyn, and needs to be said a lot more about. And you brought it upon yourself that you're going to bring the message to the world, and at least to the Gulf Coast, about no more silence. And we're going to hear what you're going to talk about tonight. And my hats off to you and congratulations on this. Is just one of many shows we're going to do on this subject. I'm going to turn it over to you.
All right. Thank you, Vernon. Well, today is Jamie Pogriba. It's her anniversary. She's been deceased for now 6 years, and she was killed by her husband. And so I want to dedicate this program to her. Jamie was in a domestic violence relationship with her husband, and what he did was he hit her with a hatchet 9 times. And when he hit her with the hatchet 9 times, the medical examiner said that that her skull was fractured and her brain was exposed. And I was thinking that maybe, okay, Jamie, she died on the scene, but she didn't. She died when she got to the hospital, and she died. She had 2 children, and she had a family that loved her. She had a family that cared about her. She had a family that tried to get her out of the situation. But Vernon, what really struck me about this is that there was a neighbor that just had moved into the neighborhood, and she lived right next door to her. And she said she heard some noises, she heard some fussing, she heard some, argument going on, but she did not want to be that type of neighbor, so we speak, being nosy. And she did not get involved. She did not make the call. And I believe that if she had made the call, that Jamie would have been alive today. So we have to be this stigma about shame, don't want to get involved. We need to get away from that and say, you know what? This is my community. I live in this community. Domestic violence is really high in our community. I think the sheriff said it's like we had 1,900 calls as far as domestic violence. And we need to say, you know what? If I see something, I'm going to say something. So, and Jamie, like I say, she had 2 boys, and her sons was in the other room while this was going on. And her father, I met her father. Her father is Alan. And I met Alan and his the friends, the family, the whole family came down, and they helped with Jamie's house. But I think this is a life that could have been saved. She was only 28 years old. She was only 28, and it happened on February the 22nd,
Hmm.
2017. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Wow. And
yeah.
and this issue, as you were saying, Carolyn, when people fail to get involved, and you said something earlier that struck me. You know, when you hear something or see something, you're already involved. So
Yeah, you already, mm-hmm.
you're already
Yeah.
involved. So let's talk about it. Let's deal with it. Wow.
Well, not only that, Vernon, I have children, I have grandchildren, I have great grandchildren, I have friends. And, I'm a firm believer that you reap what you sow. It could be your loved one that's in that situation, and you will want someone to say something. So if you know something is going on, just pick up the phone. Call the sheriff department, call Pensacola Police Department, and let them be the judge whether or not this is what's going on. I'd rather have peace of mind knowing that I did something. I made the call than to find out the next day that my neighbor was killed. And it's the same thing with child abuse. They say if you suspect child abuse, make the phone call. So I think it should be the same thing with domestic violence. If you think that your neighbor is in trouble, it's not about, a lot of times people say, well, they're not going to come out. It's not about that. You never know. That one call might make a difference. That one call can be the day she's ready or he's ready to come out.
That is so true. That is so
Hmm.
true. Now,
Hmm.
tell me, you decided that you were going to do something about it, and you created what you call your own Jamie's house, your safe house, if you would. Can you talk to us about that?
Yeah, when I was in a domestic violence relationship, and I was 7.5 months pregnant, and I had a dream, and in that dream I saw this little girl, and when I saw her, I told my husband that she was not going to live, and I was going to go ahead and name her Jamie. And today, a lot of times, Verna, when I'm telling this story, I find myself protecting the abuser, but I'm going to say his name tonight. I'm going to say his name tonight. It was James. His name was James Locke. And that was Jamie's father. And I named her Jamie. He said, no, she's not going to die. She's not going to die. You must be crazy. I said, I might be crazy about a lot of things, but this I'm not crazy about. So I named the little girl Jamie. And when I named her Jamie, and you seen the house that you seen, that was a
Hmm.
house that I had been in domestic violence in that house also. In fact, I had been in, before I got shot, I had been in three domestic violence relationship. And I often ask myself, why did I keep getting in domestic violence relationship? And I'm a firm believer that it says you attract what's in you, the law of attraction. So what I had in me, that's what I kept attracting. So I had this house, and this house was given to me, and I said, you know what? I want this to be Jamie's house. I want this to be a place where a mom and her children can come. It's already furnished. We had the grand opening, and a lot of people showed up, and it's Jamie's house, and that is a house for a mom and her children. I had a little girl that was in there, and when mom came in the house and the little girl saw the room in the house, she said, "Is this my room? Is this my room?" And I told her, "Yes, this is your room." And she wanted to jump up on the bed. She was so excited, and I was just so excited that I was able, and those that support me and those that help to with Jamie's house. My supporters that was able to give that child a place where she could sleep in peace and mom could sleep in peace.
Wow. That is great, Carolyn. Now, you dedicated that house back in what, 2022 or something like that?
I think it was 22. It was in
Mm.
October, I think the 30th or 31st and 19, yeah, and 2022. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And I noticed that
Hmm.
y'all did the balloon. Talk to us about the balloon release.
What happened was you had people that was there that had loved ones that had been in abusive relationship. You had people that loved ones had died in a abusive relationship. There were people that was there that support domestic violence, and what we want to do was release the balloons for them to let them know that they're not forgotten. So I had everyone, what I had them to do was, if they knew someone that had been in domestic violence, when we released the balloons, they was able to say the person's name and release the balloons. So yeah,
Wow. Okay.
yeah.
Now the residents of the house, were you able to get it occupied so far yet?
Yeah, I had a family in there. Yeah, and I have right now. I'm in the process now. I have two young ladies that I'm talking to that will be able to come in. This is not a handout. This is not a handout. This is a hand up,
Hmm.
and they have to have a job, and they will take. I have someone which is Tara. She's going to help them as far as with their Tara Lewis. She works with finances and credit and stuff. And she told me, she said, Carolyn, if you need me, I'll be able to help you. So she'll be able to help mom to get her finances in order so that she could be able to purchase her home and save some money. The whole idea is for her to save money and also to pay, a percentage for her to be able to stay there as far as with the lights and everything. Because when you're in a abusive relationship, what happens is that person is in control. They control of the finances of everything. So this would give mom an opportunity to be able to handle her finances and to be able to take care of her family. And my long-term goal is, Vernon, I have some extra property there. I want to
Hmm.
be able to renovate houses, and I got my handyman, and be able to help mom to be able to purchase a house. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Now, when you just to give the folks a feel of actually what you're saying here is that because you had that house renovated, you first had to get the property, you had to get the house renovated, and I want to show some pictures here, if you will, of what the house I guess looked like before
Okay.
before you let me see if I can pull it up here, Carolyn.
Okay.
Um, I think I got it right here. Okay, this is that is. You can talk about it right here. But that was some of these. You can narrate me through this.
Okay. This the little boy that's standing there. The little boy, that is Jamie's son, and
Wow.
Alan. Alan is Jamie's father. Alan came. His wife Sean came. Um, Jamie's brother came, Dylan, her best friend came, Lynn and Gina. They came and they helped that's Alan right there, the father. They came and helped to renovate the house. The house was built in 1949. And so what they did was, what Alan did, he gutted out the bathroom. We painted, we put a new roof on, and I mean, this is what Alan does. He goes in and he renovates houses. So it was just a blessing. And while they was doing the work in the house, I interviewed Sean, which was Jamie's stepmom, and she said, and her friends also, they said it was like healing. It was healing for them to know that they're able to do something to help someone else, that to have a place to stay. So Jamie's house, even though Jamie got killed and my baby Jamie got killed, but they're helping others to be able to have a safe place, children and a mom, a safe place to live.
And
Yeah.
not only that, not only is it a safe place, it's a beautiful place.
That's mom's
As
home. That's mom's room there. That's
right.
mom's room there. And
Okay.
that's Tara. She's in a sorority. Her sorority, they donated everything in that room. You see the bedding and everything. They helped to paint, and they did a lot. Yeah, the sororities helped with that. Yeah.
The ironic thing here, and I know this wasn't planned, but just how God works. Today is the anniversary of Jamie's death, wasn't it? What did it? It happened on February the 27th, 2017. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, when I set this up, I told you the last you were saying, okay, is it, you thought it was the week before? I said,
Yeah.
no, it's going to be the last Thursday of the month. the
Yeah.
last Thursday of the month. And then when I went through, scrolled through my memories, I'm like, oh my goodness, today is Jamie's 6th anniversary of her death. And I'm like, oh my goodness, yeah. And I know that her father and her family and her friends are going to be proud of. We're dedicating and we're thinking about Jamie. That's one of the things that I told Alan and the family and the friends, that I would not forget Jamie. I would
Yeah.
not forget Jamie. I would not. And I won't forget the people that help, and the families that her father and loved ones that came down to help. I would never, it couldn't have been done without them.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know how I was going to be able to do all this. Yeah.
Well, Carolyn,
Yeah.
is it also a coincidence you named it Jamie's house? You named your baby Jamie. How coincidental is that? Talk to me
Well,
about
well,
that.
what happened was, I had this vision, I think probably sometime in 2005 is when I had the vision. And, you kind of have the vision, and then I kind of put it on the shelf because I didn't know how it was going to come to pass. I wasn't going to make it come to pass. I just was obeying God. And so one day I was in the library, and the Spirit of the Lord was talking to me and told me to go on the computer and look up the women that has been abused in Escambia County. And the
Hmm.
first person I put up was Jamie Pogrebum. I put up her name and I called her father. And when I called her, I asked him, he said at first he thought I was crazy. He thought I was an older woman, and he thought I was crazy. But he said as he talked to me that what I was saying, it was, what I was saying to him, it was able to heal him, and he knew that what I was saying, I had experienced this, and he wanted to get involved. And when I told him about my vision, he said, no, no problem, no problem. And he's a man of his word. He came and they worked and they made it happen. Made it happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I really believe that it was no coincidence. I really believe, Vernon, that when I saw the baby, I really believe that because I named her Jamie, and that happened in 19, she got killed in 1979.
Right.
But yeah, in 1979, I had no clue whatsoever that I was going to meet someone that had the same name that she had. It's
Wow.
just it's no coincidence. I think that it is divine connection, divine connection. And like I tell people, I didn't save Jamie's life. I didn't. I was her mom. I didn't save her life, but she saved my life. The doctor said that if I was not have been pregnant, that I would have died. But she saved my life, and she's still saving lives. Both Jamies are still, saving lives. Yeah,
Wow. Isn't that interesting? Wow.
yeah,
And now let
yeah.
me ask you this. This is such a serious problem that nobody likes to talk about it a lot, but and people that's involved with these situations, like you say, suffer in silence, and says, and that's your mantra, is no more silence. Let's talk about it. Let's tell folks about it. Just like for the first time tonight, you felt free to name your victim. I mean, you were the victim who victimized you. For and you've been suffering with this since 1979, and now you just only feel comfortable enough after all these years to put his name out there, which he should have been out there a long time ago. And that's what happens, I think, when women go through experiences like this, that they go through it by themselves when they don't have to do that, right? And
Right.
so now in Pensacola, I know we got a local organization called probably Favor House, if I'm not mistaken, right? That if
Yes,
you
yes.
need help,
Favor.
talk to us. If women experience the same things you experienced or going through some things, uh, tell them how can they get help.
They can call. I went through Favor House. We've been connecting together, and what I did was Favor House have volunteers, so I went through their program so that I could become an advocate for those that are in domestic violence. And what they can do is what I learned from going through the training and everything is that when they go into the house, when they make that phone call and they set up an interview over the phone. But once they go into the house, what Favor House does is they set up a plan. the
Hmm.
the the victim set up a plan. Favor House doesn't do it. The victim set up a plan, and they have a plan that they're going to work their plan. And also, if you go to Favor House, it's not like a program where you have to just stay there. You're free to come and go as you please. If you have a job, you can go on your job. But it's a lot of resources. You can receive counseling. If you need legal help, they will provide you with the legal services that you need. Also, I have a young lady now that she's utilized in the program. She went and got her. She's not there yet, but she's been talking with their attorney. And something that I found out when she got ready to go downtown to do her restraining order, and she said that her husband is going to be on a monitor. And I said, on a monitor? And I asked her, I say, explain that to me. Do he already have a warrant or something like that? Or why is they putting him on a monitor? She said that they asked her, did she feel like her life was in danger? And if she felt like her life was in danger, they would put him on a monitor. Now, Verna, I know you're familiar that what happened to the young lady named Carla that was,
Yes.
yeah, at
Hey,
Pensacola State. And she
another
had a, huh?
another ironic thing. Carla Williams,
Yeah,
name
Carla
Williams. You call,
Williams.
yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh. And she had a restraining order. So I asked, I said, did they ask you, did you want him on a monitor? And she said yes. So I think that is a great, whenever you do your restraining order, I think you need to tell them, you know what, I want them to be on a monitor. So if they come where you live, it'll pick up. They would know, law enforcement will be able
Hmm.
to detect where that individual is. You follow what I'm saying? Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah. Which
yeah.
is good.
So yeah.
Which is a great idea. It's a great
Yeah, it's
idea.
yeah,
I
yeah.
guess is that something you must request? I guess they don't do it ordinarily, huh?
Well,
There's
I
something that the
think
judge has to
they
order.
asked. I think when because I never heard of that before. She say they asked her, did she feel like her life was in danger, and she
Right.
told them yes. And they said, okay, do you want him to be on a monitor? And she said yes. And so what's going to happen is he's going to have to, he's going to have to pay for that monitor. But what I was stressing to her was this: is that make sure. I said, now he's getting out. He's supposed to get out today, and I'm going to make contact with her. And I told her, I said, make sure. I say he's going to try to get in contact with you, but make sure you do not drop that restraining order. Make sure that you keep the restraining order, and that's what so many people, women do. The men they tell them, say, you know what, I need you to drop this restraining order, and then the women think about, I don't have any income, I don't have any funds, I don't have anything. But if you go to Favor House, if you pick up the phone and you call Favor House, there is so much resource that is available for you. You do not have to stay in the domestic violence abuse. You don't have to stay there. You don't have to stay there. And that's why I say, if I came out, you can come out.
Right. And Carolyn, not only that. Now, if people don't know what to do locally, it's a national domestic violence hotline that one can call. Is I got it on the screen now, or they can text that and get some help as well. Right?
As well, yeah, as well, yeah. They can call, and they will connect them with their local. They will give them information. Yeah, they will give them information. One of the things that I found out, Vernon, that is, I don't know exactly what the law is, what number it is, but I do know that I found out if you're in HUD housing and you're in a domestic violence relationship, they cannot put you out. They cannot
Really?
put you. They can't put you out. They can't put you out. Yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah.
great. That is some
That
great
is, yeah,
information to know.
yeah.
Because I know men and women don't know that. Right?
They don't know that. They
Yeah.
don't know that, and that's what happens, Vernon. Even when I was in that relationship, I don't think Favor House was around. One of the things I want to share is that I decided that I was going to go back to school. I was going back to school at night school because I didn't have my high school diploma, so I wanted to better myself. And so my daughter, my oldest daughter, she went with me one night, and I had a black eye. And she said that she said she was hoping and she was praying that someone would say something to help us to come out of that relationship. And she said it hurt her heart. She said nobody, no one said anything. No one came up to me and asked me what was going on. They pretended like they didn't even see it. And I wasn't trying to hide it. I didn't have on any shades. So I was not trying to hide it. And that's why I'm saying, if you see something, say something. Say something. You can approach that woman and ask her, is everything okay? Do you need anything? I'm here for you. You can trust me. And she, open up that line of communication. She might not tell you, but let her know that, you know what? You can get in contact with me. Give her your phone number. Let her call you and say something. Say something. If you say something, you never know. You can make an impact. You can be the one that would help her to come out. You never know. But if you don't say nothing, she's going to stay in it.
Yeah.
So,
and Carolyn, if like I say, if you're talking about a phone number, if they got the 24/7 hotline number at Favor House, 850-434-6600, if they want to do that. They got the Escambia County Outreach Center they can reach out to at 434-1177. And also, folks in Santa Rosa County have the same outreach center there as well. So, if you know anybody in those situations, don't sit back. Don't stop. Don't just sit idly by and watch things happen, because you could save a person's life. Now, Carolyn, we only got about less than a minute and a half. But tell folks, when they talk to victims of domestic abuse, tell them what not to say to them. Tell them don't be condescending. Don't be judgmental. Tell them you've been a victim. What that you don't want to hear from them.
I don't want them to tell them you need to leave. You need to get up out of there. You need to get out, because when you leave, when you're thinking about leaving, I didn't know this until I got ready to leave. That is the most dangerous time. If you're going to leave, you need to ask her, okay, let's make a plan. And don't make all the decisions for her. What do you want to do? Ask her, what do you want to do? How can I help you? Help. I said help. So that means they have to play a role in it too. And don't give up on them, because it takes 7 times. Sometimes it takes 7 times before a person actually come out of that relationship. But you need to tell them, what can I do to help you? Don't call them stupid. Don't say I'm crazy. Tell them you're crazy. I would never go through anything. I said the same thing. Never would go through it, and it happened to me.
Absolutely. And it's a good thing. This is a continuing series, folks, and we're gonna talk about the do's and the don'ts and how to's and you, if you want to be supportive, please be supportive, but don't be judgmental. Sit and listen. But we're gonna give you the tips on our next shows on how to handle situations from an abuser point of view and from a victim point of view, and as opposed to somebody that wants to help the victim get out of the situation, things to do and don't do to do that. Carolyn, we need to wrap it up for this show tonight, but we'll be back again same time. It's fourth Wednesday. This is the Thursday, right?
It's the fourth Thursday of every month. The fourth Thursday of every month at 7:00.
Yes, fourth Thursday of every month, y'all. Okay, Carolyn. Again, I want you to tell them where they can go to get help if they need it locally.
They can go to Favor House, and also if you like to donate to Jamie's house, it's $ Jamie's JAMIES houses HOUSE 20 20. Yeah, if you would like to donate to Jamie's house, it is a nonprofit. It's under the umbrella of Faith Temple Believers. So if you would like to donate it, it's a 501c3.
All right. Well, Carolyn, thank you. And folks, tell everybody about this. Spread the word far and near on this show on the domestic abuse and no above silence. We want folks to, we're gonna put a stop to this. So we'll see you next month on next Thursday in March at same time, 7 p.m. Thank you so much. Thank you, Carolyn.
Thank you, Vernon.